call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
Nick Klein takes on Andrey Pulyaev this Saturday at UFC Fight Night back in the Apex. I'm going to be honest, I'm not very impressed with either of these guys. Nick Klein 6-2, Andrey Pulyaev 9-3. Pulyaev coming off of a loss against Christian Leroy Duncan. No shame in that loss, but just backing up the entire time, not putting a lot of volume out there. Has some losses on the regional scene to some guys. Went 3-5 as an amateur, but does have decent striking. Can be taken down. We've seen that on the regional scene. Haven't really seen that as of late in the Liam Anderson fight, the Christian Leroy Duncan fight. He was doing a good job defending takedowns. Nick Klein, desperately trying to get the fight to the ground. Just looks completely lost on the feet. His final Dana White's Contender Series against Geraldo Souza, immediately got the takedown and got the rear naked choke in that one. But was just a victim on the feet against Mansour Abdul Malik. Throwing some leg kicks, but just, very tentative on the feet, afraid to get hit, afraid to really engage. Did hurt Malik with a spinning back fist, and then got a takedown, but after that it was kind of all downhill. He was getting beat up on the feet, got kind of just thrown to the ground, and as soon as Malik started to land shots, he just crumpled, turning his back, covering up, kind of cowering on the ground to get TKO'd. So has a loss on the regional scene as well to ground and pound, got KO'd in his amateur career. Beat a guy who was 22-21 to get his shot on Dana White's Contender Series. So not a lot of really high level competition that he's faced. He did fight a guy who was 12-4, I guess, and won in the third round, but lost to a guy by TKO who was 2-1. Beat a guy who was 0-3. So I don't know. Not really sold on Nick Klein. He's got decent wrestling, decent submission game, but just not very well rounded. Doesn't have it on the feet. Whereas Andrey Pulyaev, he was looking pretty crispy against Liam Anderson in that fight. He was a huge underdog, not a huge underdog, plus 170, but won that fight pretty clearly, defending the takedowns, really hurting Liam Anderson. The Christian Leroy Duncan fight, he was just kind of outclassed. Honestly, CLD is very good, but I'm gonna go with Pulyaev in this one. I think that he'll be able to defend the takedowns. If he does get taken down, kind of stay safe. Maybe be able to get back up to his feet, or stay safe until the next round comes through. But I think he can catch Nick Klein on the feet. Again, doesn't look like he's trained striking a day in his life. Whereas Pulyaev, he was backing up a lot, not putting a lot of volume out there against CLD, who's just a very refined striker with a lot of power. But again, this guy beat a guy who was 38-21. To get a shot on Dana White's Contender Series. So I don't know where they're finding these guys, kind of pulling from the bottom of the barrel, but I do think Pulyaev is somewhat talented on the feet and has decent takedown defense. I think he comes from a wrestling background, trains with Andrei Koreshkov, if you know him from the Bellator days, but does have some good kicks, has some snappy body kicks, good calf kicks against Liam Anderson, good left straight punch. Fought really nobody on the regional scene as well. But this fight's very even. The odds have it -115 both ways. But I think Pulyaev, he'll be able to get the better of Klein on the feet, kind of beat him up there, maybe get the finish, defend the takedowns. But I do see a world where Nick Klein spams takedowns, kind of just ducks his head and gets takedowns against Pulyaev, gets some control time, maybe gets a submission. But I trust Pulyaev just to use his range. He's going to be the taller guy, have a little bit of a reach advantage. And I think he's levels above Nick Klein on the feet. I think he can put the pressure on him or just use his footwork to avoid the takedowns. But I think Pulyaev gets this one done. Thanks.